Hey, everybody. Today we're going to talk about three books that have helped me a lot with my mental health and I feel like have made me mentally stronger. To start off, the first book I would recommend is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's tiny, it's fantastic. It's one of those books where you feel like you can underline every single sentence. There's no fluff in it. That's why it's so small. Most books I feel like add a ton of fluff just to get to a certain page number. This book has it's just chock full of really good wise. I said this is a very wise book. And I'll just read you one of my favorite lines from it. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. And why I like that is I think so often we want something, but we're unwilling to change who we are in order to get it. For example, if I want a six pack, I have to change who I am. I cannot eat donuts and cookies and treats and drink soda and expect to get a six pack. And I think that's what it's the same with our mind. If we want to be mentally strong, we have to feed our minds good things. We have to keep the garbage out of it, the junk food, the junk thoughts, so to speak. So if we want to overcome mental challenges, we have to become mentally stronger. We have to be more disciplined. We have to actually change who we are. We have to change. We cannot stay the same person and believe that we can overcome mental challenges. All right, book number two that I would recommend, The Power of Positive Thinking. I don't care if you guys think this is kind of cheesy. It probably is a little bit, but it's good. It's helped me, so I'm going to recommend it. He takes a more religious approach to it, which I think is helpful. I do. I think. Well, I'll just read you one of my favorite lines from here that helps me. And it says this about facing obstacles. First of all, don't be afraid of obstacles. Practice believing that God is with you and that in combination with Him, you have the power to handle it. And there's a few things I like about that line. One is don't be afraid of the challenges that we face. Look at them more as opportunities to grow and become stronger. Look at it again. I kind of take everything from a mental standpoint and shift it over to the physical. If we want to get stronger physically, we go lift something hard. So if we're facing obstacles that are challenging us mentally, don't be afraid of it. Look, just view it as a challenge, like you would be, if you're doing a bench press with a bunch of weight on it. Get excited about it. And I like what he says here too, like practice believing that God is helping you. I have to practice every single morning and every single day my belief in God and believing I got to practice that God is helping me. So I really like that one a lot. This is going to have a ton of like practical advice, like really daily things to recite to yourself or affirmations, things like that. Whereas this book, As a Man Thinketh, it's more just kind of wisdom, just a bunch of really good wisdom that are chock full. Every page is chock full. The third one, now, if you want to talk about cheesy, this title is so cheesy. Hate the title, but love the book. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. It's totally like the self-help type cheesy title, but it is really good. It is longer. You can see, I think it's like 300 pages, 350. The author has a ton of stories in this one. That's what I like about it. He uses a ton of different stories that I think are just very, very helpful. I'll read you one of my favorite lines in here, and he's got an entire chapter about, well, it's titled Find Yourself and Be Yourself, which might sound kind of weird, but I'll explain in just a minute. And he says, no matter what happens, always be yourself. Nobody is so miserable as he who longs to be somebody and something other than the person he is in body and mind. And the reason that resonates with me is I have found that when I'm just myself and I'm not too self-conscious or worried about, what type of, I don't know, persona I'm projecting out there to the world, but when I'm just myself, I have found that I'm way happier. So that's one reason why that particular quote stands out. But he has a ton of stories in there, how to stop worrying, basically, and live a better life. That one helped me, I would say, in a time where I feel like I was just like overwhelmed and needed like some boost. So reading some of those stories were definitely motivational and helpful. So those are the three books I would recommend to start with. If you're only going to read one, really, I would recommend this one. Just start there. It's super cheap on Amazon. We'll create another video where I'll dive into like these types of books that I actually really like too. how champions think. Sports psychology helps me a ton. When I see how athletes attack their own challenges, it gives me ideas on how to attack life challenges in a way that's like tried and true in the athletic arena, which I think helps me a lot in normal day-to-day life. So I hope these books help, and let me know your thoughts if you've read them or if you do read them and they help you. Would love to hear from you. So God bless. Good luck.